Welcome to Deco Guide, the only app designed to help you navigate your college and career journey in the quickest and most affordable way. This podcast is brought to you by EdTechity, dedicated to opening doors to higher education and career opportunities for all.
So we'd like to know, what school are you a counselor at currently, and how many years have you been a counselor?
Currently, I'm at Woodland Community College, 25 years.
And then what type of counselor are you? Do you think you're more general or more specialized?
I'm a general counselor.
And then because you're a counselor, how would you describe your caseload? Like, what is the ratio of how many students you're overlooking? What does that kind of look like?
It's probably about 1,200 to 1.
Wow, that's a lot. Okay.
Yeah, 11 to 12, around there.
Mm-hmm. And then on a typical day, how many students do you think you see?
It varies, but usually I do a half-hour increments.
Mm-hmm.
So figure 7 hours. So about 14 students probably.
I see. That's cool. Do you ever do sessions that are longer than half hour?
Yeah, I have hour sessions too. Mm-hmm.
Hour sessions.
And so just to be clear, with a lot of new students, I have hour sessions, half hour continuing, and then I work a lot with veteran students. So those are definitely 1 hour appointments.
I see.
So it varies.
Cool. And then you mentioned that for recurring students, you meet them in half-hour increments. How many students, if you have a rough percentage of how many recurrent students do you have?
Continuing students, you mean?
Yeah.
Again, it's usually at half-hour increments, and there's usually a mix between new and returning students. So it could be 14, it could be 10. If I have an hour or a couple 1 hour sessions, then it reduces the number of hour students.
Right. Okay.
And sometimes those returning students can be longer. It just depends on the situation.
Right. I see. Okay, cool. And then do you mostly just work for the community college that you're currently at, or are students within the same district, are they able to book appointments with you?
Mostly with the community college. I do get some within our district. I do not often, but I do get students from some of our other feeder school, not feeders, but the main campus is Yuba, but then we have other satellite campuses that we meet with students.
Gotcha.
And then a quick follow-up to that, do you have a priority between that? Do you prioritize the students who you are a counselor at, or is it kind of just random, like whoever gets assigned to you, you'll take them despite them not being directly at the school you support?
It's kind of random because they don't talk to me. They make the appointments, and sometimes they go through our receptionist or our clerk, and they'll talk to them. But they could go online and make appointments. So it could be random, and many of them through word of mouth connect with us. So they'll come to me for whatever reason.
Okay. Cool. So now we're going to kind of pivot to talk about the current tools that you use throughout your everyday flow. Is there any software that you currently use?
So we use a combination. Well, at our campus, we use what we call Cranium Cafe, which is it's a virtual. It's kind of like Zoom, but it has some. I guess a little bit more specific for counseling. But I also use Zoom when necessary. We have electronic educational plans. We use what they call a SARS grid that kind of manages our appointments. Illusion is the program we use for our electronic educational plans. We use what we call Datatel/Colleague. That's more in terms of all the admission details for when students register, and we have other information. in that particular program. But my main tool is our Illusion that's connected to our schedules and our educational plan.
Gotcha. Okay. And then using Illusion, are you able to sync with other calendars that you may have, such as like Outlook or Gmail?
Yeah. We connect with Outlook, and then what is it? Outlook 365. Actually, a lot of our students. That's how we connect with them.
Gotcha. And what is your experience using these different tools? What do you think it's like?
They're pretty. There's been some improvements. Illusion works fairly well. We've transitioned through what we call self-service, a different type of program, I guess, or platform for students to register. So now, as of this last year, students can see their program plans. So the classes we load. Some of those classes are automatically loaded based on the major, so it's accessible. Students can connect and when the student goes to register, and I've already preloaded their educational plan, or I've had classes that I recommended, they'll see that through the self-service portal. They'll see those classes there. And so all they have to do is add the class to their schedule unless they choose to change something.
Gotcha. And I'm kind of curious, do you happen to know how Illusion was approved? I heard from a few other counselors that for tools like this to be implemented throughout the district, you have to go through the district office first. Do you happen to know anything about that?
So there was discussion through the district office, but then as a campus, we implemented it a lot sooner than our sister campus. So we probably had about 4 years before they just started. I think last year. So we're kind of the lead on that. We felt that it seemed to work pretty good. So it was a district. It's a district-wide program, but each campus then looked at it and then decided to implement the program. So we were a lot sooner.
I see.
We've been using it for about 5 years. Our sister college, I think, just started this year, I believe. Last year, I was helping them with the transition and all the training. But yeah, it's a process,
I see. It's interesting.
And then, follow-up question for me on that. Do you have any sense of how students find Illusion?
It's so I guess a little bit background. Our students have just begun having access to it. I think as of last year. But prior to that, they couldn't really access it because it wasn't interlinked or connected with. We used to have before self-service. We have I forget the title. There was another platform they used to register for classes. So we knew we were going to transition, and so it's laid out in a way that, and it's formatted that it makes sense to students in terms of the time frame by semester. So for the most part, the feedback has been pretty good, and it hasn't. There hasn't been a whole lot of negative because it lays out. We make notations and it gives them a time frame of how long it'll take them to transfer. A visual.
Gotcha. And then, sorry, to circle back to the initial tools you talked about, Cranium Cafe and Zoom. Is Cranium Cafe also just like another Zoom-like tool for video conferencing, or does it have more than that?
No, it's like a Zoom-like, but it does have a little bit more because we could we could share the screen, which is Zoom. You could do that too. But there's also a lot of our forms that we could use to share with students. Mm-hmm. So to be honest with you, I think it sucks. I'd rather get rid of it. So I don't like it. I don't care for it. It's a little bit confusing for students because we send them the link. They're trying to log on. It's even sometimes confusing for me. I don't care for it. So sometimes I'll use Zoom, or whatever works best for the student. But yeah, Cranium Cafe, part of the reason is that it was abiding. It was adhering to FERPA and some of the private regulations that are required.
Got it. So it's trying to kind of fill a special niche.
Yeah, at the time, and again, we had just started looking into that program. Actually, it wasn't purchased. It was something that the college received through a grant. Essentially, it was sort of free, and then we were just beginning to explore online counseling until we were forced to go all online in March of last year. Then we rather quickly implemented it.
And then, sorry, one more follow-up question to that last comment about online counseling. How do you actually feel about online counseling versus in-person counseling? Do you feel like it's similarly effective, or do you think you would have a preference for always having in-person, for example?
I think a combination could work. I'm a little old school. I prefer in-person, to be honest with you. But we're forcibly moving away from that to some degree. And students can accommodate to online. But on the other hand, I'm at a smaller campus, a little bit more rural. So we still have a lot of students who would rather come in person. So there's that combination of students that we have, some students who have that preference of being in person, while other students are adjusting to the virtual component. And I would say that half of my appointments throughout the day, some may be virtual, but the majority might be telephone calls. In addition to that, I could see a lot of re-entry older adults having a preference with in person. So it also kind of depends on your campus. Again, we're a little bit more rural, we're a smaller campus, and we still have that kind of connection, in-person connection with students.
Okay. So I'm going to pivot a little bit and ask about your individual student appointments a bit more. So before you meet someone, how much time do you say you prepare for that session?
So it's kind of back to back. So if I have a 30-minute appointment, I take care of that student, and then I jump into the next student. So there's not a lot of time in between, especially virtually. So the way to do that is I kind of ahead of time in the morning, we have office time. So I'll look at my schedules and while I'm connecting with them virtually, or if that's not working, then calling them, I'm looking at their records. And through the SARS grid, there's usually a notation kind of letting me know a little bit why the student's coming back. Is it a new educational plan? Is it registration? Like right now, we're doing a lot of registration. So oftentimes I go from, 9 to 9:30 and 9:30 to 10. So I'm jumping back. So while I'm talking with the student, they're sharing what their needs are, and then I'm working with them during that time.
Gotcha. And on top of things like you mentioned records, educational plan registration, is there any other information that you need to see?
Well, any transcripts that they may have, academic records, sometimes looking at their if they're taking any advanced placement scores, Do we have those records? Have they ordered them? If they're taking classes elsewhere, if they're trying to do, if they're from our feeder schools, that usually is not the case, but we're so close to Los Rios that we get a lot of Los Rios students. So what I need for them are transcripts. So they're coming to Sac City or American River and say, hey, I want to take this anatomy class. Well, we have a prerequisite, sending you transcripts so I can look at them. I try to facilitate that by taking unofficial transcripts to prevent the whole, it'll take longer if you go through our admissions and records office. Again, I tell them, send that to me, then you can send officials so that I could clear them. But those are the majority of the things we need in addition to.
Cool. And then one last question I have is that if you have a magic wand to basically make any perfect experience regarding counseling happen, like what would that look like to you?
Perfect experience for the student, right?
For a counselor, actually, like for you yourself.
Oh, for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never thought of it. I always take it from the student's perspective, and really, centering around what is best for students. Mm-hmm. And I think more than anything, and especially now during this, have we transitioned virtually, is being accessible to students. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes, our appointments go beyond academics. It goes to it usually leads into other situations, and that this pandemic's been a good example. It's been a little bit frustrating with our students, a lot of students, as this transition was forced on everybody. Mm-hmm. Everything's now online, and that's not easy for a lot of students. That's a different learning style. So Magic Wand, it's just, I guess it would really be more of a accessibility and being available for individuals to address any concerns they may have. Everything from online classes to what to explore, what kind of courses they need, and so on. I guess that's kind of the way I see it. We're more, rather than take a deficit approach, more of a strengths perspective and taking it from where they're at to where they need to go. That's not always the case that we have that time to really interact with students in that way. So it gets a little bit challenging with the loads and the number of students we have.
And then you mentioned, I really like the focus on students. What do you think are basically the barriers to accessibility right now? Like, do you think it's literally your time? Like, you don't have enough time on your calendar to see folks? Do you think it's a tooling thing where students don't even know where to start being able to have access to counselors? What's your thought on that?
Well, I would say some of it is the time factor. Students sometimes have to wait a while to see me. It gets to a point where I'll tell them, you know what, email me and we'll set it up. Or sometimes students have my text. Not the best thing to do, but that's okay with certain students I've been working with, and so I get pretty booked at times. But the other component to this, especially now, it's really the virtual divide and not knowing how to navigate and access me or other counselors to meet and do it in a way where it's not as complex as it should be. If a student, every community college has a different platform, and they're all confusing. I've seen Sac Cities and American Rivers. I've seen ours. So there's some adjustments there to know how to navigate that, but you have the whole virtual divide, and when we look in our community, we're a little bit more rural. Some students just don't have access, and them and I be able to get good Wi-Fi. That's a big issue. You know, I can't connect. Amy's got her camera off. It's a better connection, right? Sometimes they can't even connect, and I may lose connections, so I have to try to track them down by telephone. So I think it's a little bit of a combination till we start as a society working better to have to lessen the virtual divide with the populations that we serve.
Gotcha. So you mentioned earlier that some of the reasons why students meet with you are to discuss like what majors to explore, also like what courses they need to take. Would you say those are like the most common reasons that they're meeting you with, or are there any other reasons why they meet with you?
Along with that, sometimes it's just confusion on how to navigate the system. You have CSUs, you have UCs, you have private colleges, you have different prerequisites, lower division prerequisites for different majors. You could, I have some of the brightest students, but sometimes they have a hard time navigating the system, and they'll come to me and say, I need help to do this application. How do I do this transfer admission guarantee for UC? Do they take this? Do they take that? So it's a combination, and there's times where students sometimes they just want to discuss options for them. Maybe they're not happy, or they're confused, or they just don't know what to do. And that's okay. You know, I mean, those are important conversations, and I take students from, again, I try to figure out with them, what's your passion, what drives you. There's sometimes outside pressures on some of the students, and so they feel they have to major in something. And then when the truth comes out, it's better identifying what works best for them, if they have an interest. So you get a little bit of everything.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I think those are all the questions that I have. Amy, do you happen to have any more?
No, I think we talked about everything that was on my mind as well.
That's good. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us that maybe we didn't exactly capture in a question?
Well, you know, just again, going back to what some of the things, and my whole approach of being student-centered and starting with the student, to me, that's that little middle circle of working around, finding, I say this often with students, tell me why. And then I'll tell you how, so that it eventually leads to what you want to do. And that's kind of my approach. And so when I say I want to be student-centered, that's where I want to start. Just making it real, but identifying the why and what drives them, versus the what. I know what they all want, right? Money. And that's a good thing. And we should all have that ambition. But if that equation is reversed and they want to start with money, but they don't know why they're doing it, in other words, they don't have a passion for it, oftentimes when they meet challenges, they may not persist as much. I want to switch the equation, start with the why.
Right.
It's just part of my approach.
That's great. Yeah, we really want to make a product that helps you able to do that. So it's really good that we're able to hear that and get some reinforcement on some of the design decisions that we're making. Yeah, so I think that's it. So right now we are currently in like the design phase of the counseling portal. Within a few weeks, we're likely to have a more concrete product. And if you're interested, we'd love to show you it and get a bit more feedback and what you think on that, if you're interested.
Sure.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much for your time, Jose.
You're welcome.
Really,
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. You guys take care.
yeah, you too.
As well. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you for tuning into Techo Guide, the app focused on bringing you tools and content to help you make better decisions about school, life, and career. We hope this episode has inspired you to pursue and excel in your own educational and career journey. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share.